Good evening, everyone. How are we? So, welcome back to another one of my landscape photography videos. And I'm talking really weird. Sorry. I took a week off. Well, in fairness, I actually recorded a video last week, but I made such a mess of things that I actually canned it. But the lesson I've learned is don't film deep in the woods on a late afternoon in winter when it's really overcast and cloudy and stormy above, because you get no light and the video footage you get comes out all noisy and horrible and just a load of poo, really. So it's a lesson learnt for me, but I've decided to try and give myself a bit of a challenge, in a sense, to see if I can develop a style to my photography, because I feel I don't really have a style, if you know what I mean. I do landscapes, obviously. I love landscapes, often early mornings or late evenings, and I guess that in a sense is a sort of a style, but it's not I don't know, what was in my brain, I'm sorry, I was trying to stop talking like that because that would get really loud, but what was in my brain was that so many people are out there, and this is a great thing in the modern world. Obviously, we've all got cameras or we've all got phones, and there's lots and lots of people out there who can take photos every day. And so to try and stand out from that crowd was in my mind. I feel I don't have a distinct style or an identity where you could look at a photo of mine without me having presented it to you and say, that's a Jamie Kavanagh photo, to sound really pretentious, but it's the truth. Just to say that this is one of mine. So I thought I'd give a go, and I'm really not stringing this together very well. Pretty much the idea that's in my head is something that I'm hopefully non-pretentiously dubbing the sort of cinematic landscape, because I love cinematography. I love films, much like everybody, I've no doubt. And one of the things I love about it most is, I don't know, it's just like the look of a film. You get a film like 1917, or you get a film like The Dig, a couple that spring to mind, because I love the way they were colour graded, and I love the way they look. And being somebody that shoots outside, doing landscapes, the actors something's just happened with them horses down there. It's quite an inspiration, really, for the sort of stuff I've done. So that was what I'm going a long way around, I think, of saying basically that cinematography inspires me. I love to watch good films that are shot well and that are framed really well and graded really nice and that sort of stuff. And I often do, like with my YouTube videos, if you watch my YouTube videos, everything I present to you now over the last sort of like 4 weeks has been in that cinematic aspect ratio, that cinematic crop, that being 2.39:1. There's a few variants of that, but that's the sort of old classic one. And I just thought I'd give it a go. I thought it'd act as a bit of a challenge, maybe a way to develop a style, just to give myself a little bit. That's going to be really wobbly, sorry. Yeah, just to give myself a bit of to look at things in a different way, really. How I take my photos. That's what's in my mind at the minute. So I promised myself I'm going to do it for the next few weeks at least, is just lean into this cinematic way of taking pictures, or of seeing photos, of seeing an environment, a landscape, and see if I can develop a sort of style to it. So I've picked this picture here, this scene here, just because I like it for a start. It's one of the obvious things, but just because it's giving me that sort of wide, almost Wild West cinematic look, if you will. And there's this group of pine trees in the distance, and they're surrounded by lots of bushes and other types of trees that are going into, or in, their autumnal colours, their autumn colours. And I just thought it made for a nice frame. I've got my, to reach, because it's quite a long way away, and I've still, if you watch my videos, you notice I keep saying to myself, I wish I'd bought my 70-200 out of me. Well, I have today. I've bought my 70-200 out of me, and this is giving me the frame that I want for this photo. We're in the afternoon now. It's about 2:20. So I'm not quite getting golden hour light. We've probably got another hour to go before any golden hour light comes in. But I still think it makes for a nice image. And there's some clouds up there in the sky, that beautiful blue sky with clouds floating across the top. And then, yeah, I just think that's for a nice image. I've used the grasses, the sort of burnt off grasses or the dying off grasses in the foreground. That's what's giving me that wild westy like feel. Leading in, and I've just framed the that group of pines up in the middle, surrounded by those autumnal bushes and trees, you know, the yellows and the oranges, and the coppers, and then weird noise, and then just using a bit of that sky. And I think with this cinematic framing, that 2.39 by 1 crop, sorry, I think it will make for a nice image. And like in my mind, the way I'm seeing this, because a lot of the time I can only get out on a Sunday, and so some days when I go out, I'm not getting anywhere near the sort of conditions that I want to get. And I think in my mind, the way I'm sitting in a minute is, if I frame things up as if they were a scene from a film, it would just, I don't know, it would help me. It would help me to see that as a nice photo. I think that makes sense. What I struggle with a lot of time when I go out, like in conditions like this, if I was just taking a picture of a solitary tree or a solitary subject or something like that, it just wouldn't look as good as it would do unless it was at golden hour. You know, and inevitably, like this sort of photo would look better at golden hour, but in my mind, with that framing, with that cinematic framing, it will look good even in these conditions. I think that's just where my brain's at with it at the minute. And the idea is, I hope, how long have I waffled on for? A long time. Anyway, the idea is, I hope that it would just give me a different way in which to see a landscape, to see an image, and to take pictures. So anyway, I've babbled on quite a bit as always. So I'm going to end that little segment there. So thank you very much for watching, and wish you a good morning, a good day, a good evening, and a good night whenever you're watching this. And I shall see you guys in a little bit. Hello again. So I found this. I hope I'm in front of me. I found this other scene here that's really sort of what I had in mind with these sort of like cinematic landscapes, if you will. The reason being, there's quite a bit going on. So, and also, as always with me, there's a path. It's a nice path leading through. I found this spot here, which is right obviously on the border of what's the Ashdown Forest and National Cat Centre, because this is a gate that I'm not allowed to cross without any permission apparently. So it's quite an awkward spot. So I'm taking this picture in, hence I have to balance my tripod on, and I'm trying to frame it up so I'm not getting the gate in the image too much. But I like the picture. We've got these there's a silver birch there, an oak I believe, a pine, all sorts of trees going on. Some in autumnal colours, different hues, like oranges and yellows and greens. And it just looks really interesting. And what I have got There's the sun peeking through as well every now and again. Once it breaks through, the clouds move away. The sun comes into the scene and just lights it all right up. I'm having to exposure bracket because of that sun to make sure I get enough dynamic range in the image. But I'm looking forward, as people coming, I'm going to have to move out of this way. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting that together and seeing how it looks, because I think that will really suit that cinematic crop at 2.39 by 1. But I can hear people coming. I'm writing away this public bridleway, so I'm going to stop this little segment here and say thank you for watching. And I'll leave you with this image and put some B-roll and bits and pieces. And I'm going to go and find somewhere I can stand where I'm not writing away and take my next photo, because I know what I want to take a picture of. I want to get the sunset with this particular view that I saw here the other week. But yeah, other than that, guys, thank you. I'll catch you in a little bit. I best get out of everyone's way. So I'll see you in a bit. No, you can't see that. There's a dog taking a crap over there. Hello again. Oh, that was really good to get in the video. Yes, I've come back to my. I've come to the spot I was hastily talking about in the last scene. I felt a little bit uncomfortable there because I think I said I was right on a public bridleway, and well, it wasn't even a public bridleway because that was a private land. But anyway, seems a lot of people walking in and out of that gate, so I just got out of the way as quick as I could. But yeah, I was talking about this particular spot. I don't know if you guys can see. I'll get some panoramic B-roll of the view in a little while once I've done filming this. But pretty much when you park at what's known as Long Car Park and you come to what is the Old Airfield, which I'm sure you can see why it's called that now, that long drag that's all the way down there, you get greeted by this view, and it's just absolutely beautiful. I think it's such a stunning like a vista. And when I had it in my head, I was talking about the cinematic crop that I want to try and do, so my cinematic landscapes, unpretentiously. This view was in my mind because you just see something. I saw this a few weeks back when I walked in here, and I looked, and I was just like, "Oh, that looks beautiful," and it's just got that wide panorama to it that just looks so enticing, I think, anyway. And yes, I had to come here. I thought I planned it, my walk, so that I knew I'd get back here for sunset. So for when the real golden hour kicks in and the sun goes down, and hopefully we get some interesting light in the sky this evening because there's clouds up there. But yeah, it's just, there you go. So I've had to describe the picture. I'm not particularly too happy with the frame. I'd rather get over there and be more central. But the issue I've got is I've got a lot of dog walkers coming in and out, and I'd just be in their way, they'd be in my way, and etc. So I've set myself off to the side, but I think it looks all right, and I've just positioned. There's that. I think that's a type of pine there. It's definitely an evergreen on the left-hand side of my thirds. The airfield down the middle as best as possible, and then the sun setting off to the right. And a minute ago I was trying it at f16 to see if I could get a starburst, but I wasn't quite succeeding in that. when I look back through what the pictures I've taken on there with the sun, I thought it made it quite interesting. But at the very least, I've HDR'd or exposure bracket the image so I can get as much detail on the right there as possible. But I will probably brighten that up in Lightroom when I edit it later on, just to give real emphasis to the fact that it's a sunset. But yeah, I really like the image, and I managed to get it without people walking up and down it earlier. But yeah, I'm going to hang on until after the sun goes down, because my feeling is that we might get some interesting colour in that sky, because there's some clouds about. Obviously the sun goes down and the light shoots up and it reflects off of the molecules in the air. I think the science is behind it, and then you either get them real purple hues and magenta hues, or the real vibrant reds, or something like that. So I'm going to hang around, but I think personally the scene works better with the light, with the sunlight, with the evening light, than it would do with just an interesting sky. But I'll see. I'm going to take both pictures and I'll put one or both up on your screens after I've finished talking to you guys, and let me know what you think. But yeah, anyway guys, I'm going to end that video there, because there's lots of people now staring at me wondering what I'm doing, so I might have to go and answer some questions, and just say thank you very much for watching. What do you think of my cinematic landscapes, my unpretentious cinematic landscapes? Let me know what you think, if this is a good idea or a style to delve into or not. But yeah, otherwise I wish you a good morning, a good day, a good evening and a good night whenever it is you're watching this, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you.